Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
What is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So please do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. On tonight's conversation, we spent so much time on the last show talking about the Dr. Fauci, the Senate hearing, and how it was filled with so much drama and back and forths, and you could say it's straight, it's politically motivated, or you can say, hey, look, folks are looking for answers and still haven't, still are recovering from COVID. People still want answers from COVID, and folks are just truly, especially, elected officials, those in Washington, are not quite happy with Dr. Fauci. And so we spent the whole entire show talking about and dissecting that Senate hearing, the back and forth between Fauci's lawyer and Senator Rand Paul, the attacks on Fauci. And again, I left it up for you all to share your thoughts on that. But on today's show, we got a variety of stories we're going to be tackling. So first and foremost, former NFL kicker Jay Feely, who's running for Congress in Arizona. He is the GOP nominee out there in Arizona, and he recently shared that he's basically criticizing schools for teaching slavery, for telling their students and getting an understanding on what slavery is, what went down back in the day, back during that period in America. And see, what kills me, and I've shared this before, folks need to learn not just the good about this country, but also the bad. Like, they need to hear about every single occasion, event, period, that they need to understand. They need to know about that. They need to study that. And then when they learn about it, okay, what can we do to prevent that? Because, see, future is supposed to be about growth, but you continue to move forward. You should be building and growing. You shouldn't be trying to go backwards. No, you walking forward away from that. Now, folks say, don't talk about it. Don't bring it up. No, when you avoid it, that's a problem. That is a problem. Because, no, it's not. So then in that case, then forget about any form of history that you've learned in the past. Any form of history. Any form of American history that you learned about, just forget about it. No need to know. No. We learn history in order to, again, be aware, and knowledge is power. So Jay Feely, who is, this clown, first of all, no one really cares about a place kicker in the NFL. I'll be honest. No one cares. You might, if you're a fan of the Arizona Cardinals, if you played, if you are a kicker yourself, you probably like, oh man, yeah, I know him. Yeah, he's pretty popular. But for the most part, no one cares about Jay Feely. But we're going to talk about that also. Charlemagne the God, Charlemagne of the Breakfast Club, radio Hall of Famer. He shares his opinion on who is the Democratic Party's best communicator. Can you guess? Well, we're going to share it here on the show. Also, Democratic Lieutenant Governor out of Hawaii was indicted. Yeah, it's not looking too good for her. So we're going to talk about it on this program. Also, popular, well-known HBCU, historically black college and university, Howard University, located in Washington, D.C. They had this dilemma where it's not a dilemma, but they had unenrolled, I believe it was, no, I'm sorry, they recently unenrolled 200 students No, let me rephrase that. They had readmitted 200 students after a mass unenrollment that was close to 500. And a lot of folks are like, what is going on? What is this? What is that? And we'll talk about it here. And lastly, in Wisconsin, there's a Wisconsin governor's race happening, and one of the primary candidates dropped out. Somebody you would say had a strong chance of becoming the next governor of Wisconsin. So we'll talk about that and a little bit more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. As always, my friends, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. This is episode 641. Do me a favor, if you have not done so yet, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Arrington Gavin Show. Here, if you're watching right now, you know we drop new episodes weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow us on our social media platforms like X at AG Show Live. You can also follow us on Instagram at the Arrington Gavin Show. And then we're also we're on Blue Sky, same AG Show Live. You can also follow us on Substack as well. So we're on a variety of different social media platforms where you can kind of just keep tabs what we do outside the show. Also, visit our website, www.theagshow.com. That it keeps you up to speed on recent episodes. You can also contact me by way of email if you if you visit our website. So we got a lot of stuff happening. You can also watch past episodes of the Arrington Gavin Show on Goatverse TV. All you have to do is just download the app from the App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, or Amazon Fire TV. Again, that's Goatverse TV. And you can follow the Arrington Gavin Show, my friends. Bold opinions, real talk, and unfiltered. That's right. That's what you get here on the show. And I think that's okay. I think that's all. But I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. My day started off crazy. Let me tell you this. So how can I okay, so when you have a routine every morning before you leave the house to go to work, you have a routine, and that routine could be, okay, I place my keys here, I place my wallet here, I place my shoes here, I place this and that and the other. And so I have a routine, and in my home, right, in my closet, I have like my watches, and next to my watches I have some wristbands. Next to the wristband I have my wedding ring, and there I have my wallet, right? And so I left this morning, arrived to work, and well, actually no, I was in the drive-through. I think I was going to Starbucks to get an espresso shot, and I was in the drive-through, and I realized, I'm like, damn, I don't have my wallet. I'm like, oh gosh. So luckily, my wife was still home. I hit her up and I'm like, you mind grabbing my wallet and bringing it to the office? And so luckily I had tap. So which is a savior to all, right? It prevents you from even carrying a wallet. But I had tap, so I got my espresso shot. And when I arrived at my desk, my wife was like busy. I saw she called me like a few times. She's like, look, I'm trying to find your wallet. I don't see your wallet over here. So now my heart just like everything just dropped. Like I was about to crap my pants. I'm like, oh my gosh, what now? And I've come to realize how folks of a certain age feels where they get, where they forget stuff. Cause I and maybe it's just me because I hate to forget stuff. Cause I feel as though like it's common stuff. Like I'm always having this on me. I always have my phone. I always have my wallet. This is common stuff. How did I leave this home? How did I forget? And I'm just like, and so I was just over it. And I left and was trying to drive back, trying to, flashback all my, trying to go back and remember my, what's the word I'm looking for? Trying to go back in, I can't say it. I'm a little slow today, but I tried to remember, okay, where were the locations where I last had my wallet? And so kind of recounting my steps. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. And I'm like, okay, we went out to eat. We grabbed some food to go. I was at the gym, but I'm like, I would have left my, I wouldn't have brought my wallet inside the gym. So I'm like, okay, it's not there. But then I realized, okay, the restaurant that we went to was down the street from our house. And I'm like, maybe I dropped it outside. And I'm just praying. I'm like, oh God, please tell me. I hope it's outside. If it's there, they ain't that nobody picked it up. Because if someone picked it up, I hope that they would have kind of, contacted me and say, hey, look, we have your wallet, this and that. So we get to the parking lot, no wallet. Okay, I'm like, oh my gosh, what is happening here? What is going on? And then I realize I go back home and I found it. It fell from the counter, from like the shelf in my closet under like, it's hard to explain, but it fell kind of like under the shelving, almost like it was like a lift, because the way it's set up is not planted on the ground. It's just like this much of space that you can kind of just lose a lot of things. Like my dog's toys, his little balls and stuff are usually rolled up under there, but it fell and rolled up under there. And so I'm like, oh God, thank God. Because I just, when you start realizing how much important stuff is in your wallet, I'm like, oh my goodness, what could I was just in panic mode. So I've proud to say I have misplaced it before, but I've never said I've lost it where I had to like get everything back. Like it was hell. So I guess my opening question to you all before we head to a commercial break is, have you ever lost your wallet? Have you ever lost your wallet? If so, where did this happen? Right. And just explain the whole entire story. And look, I got to tell you, can put it in the comment section. You can email me it. I'm curious to hear the stories, and I would love to share it possibly on, some of the next programs that we do, or some of the next episodes. Because a buddy of mine had told me earlier, he's like, yeah, I lost my wallet multiple times. First time I lost it in the ocean one time. I'm like, what the hell? So please, I love to hear some more stories, because your boy was I was not a happy mood at all earlier today, y'all. So enough about me talking, man. Let's head to a commercial break. You're listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't change that dial. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to.
And we still in traffic.
I don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up. Yeah, this that new Gold Verse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
Let me tell you something most people get wrong about suits. A suit isn't just about you wearing it. It's how you show the world who you are. It's your handshake before you say a word, your presence when you step into any room. That's why we design statements at Dapper Luke. We don't just make suits. We'll start with the fabrics that tell your story, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends sourced from the finest mills in Italy, the UK, and India. Then we'll combine that with your vision, your personality, and your style. Every detail is tailored to you, from the fit to the finish. Whether for your wedding, a gala, the boardroom, we specialize in creating custom suits that are unique, just like the men who wear them. We spent years perfecting this craft, apprenticing under designers in New York and showcasing collections in New York and for Baltimore Fashion Week. None of that matters as much as seeing the look on your face when you try on your custom suit. Over 900 clients have already trusted us to deliver the best custom suits. They trust me to deliver the confidence. We proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore and would be honored to bring your vision to life next. Let's create something unforgettable. Book your free consultation today at www.dapperluke.com.
6'10", number one pick, 16 seasons, College Player of the Year, All-Rookie Standout. Joe Smith built a career on grit, consistency, and showing up.
Greatness isn't just about the game. It's about how you show up every day. Rugged Evolution now offers body care products for every man, because not every man wears a beard, but every man deserves care. Greatness doesn't fade.
It evolved. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Every beard deserves to be legendary, and every man deserves
right, fam. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show. Let's get it going first with a message from Charlemagne the God. That's right, Charlemagne the God of the Breakfast Club. He had this message to say, statement actually. He said, here's the individual who he thinks is the best communicator for the Democratic Party. And I'm like, So I asked you earlier, I'm like, could you guess? Could you guess who it is? Well, here's who he said is the best communicator in the Democratic Party.
The best communicator in the Democratic Party is Zoran Mandani. Not only is Zoran Mandani saying all the things that need to be said, he's actually establishing a track record in New York City of getting things done.
Yep.
And that shit he did with Netanyahu last week, listen, you don't have to be a Democrat and adopt that rhetoric, but boy, let him cook, because that shit is impactful. Because he on the campaign trail, he was saying he wanted to get Netanyahu locked up because he said Netanyahu is a war criminal who has a restaurant out there from, what's the organization, the international, what is it, Chris? ICC. Chris is shrugging his shoulders because Chris, for whatever reason, doesn't understand politics. This is good politics, Chris. It's a good stunt. It's a good strategy. It riles people up. It gets the people going. The best communicator.
And I guess my question for you all is, do you agree with Charlemagne by saying Zoran Mamdani is the best communicator that the Democratic Party currently have? And in my opinion, and I've shared this time and time again, Zoran is not the face of the Democratic Party. Does he have a powerful position? Yes, he is local, but he's the mayor of one of the largest, most wealthiest cities in the United States. New York City is not for average day Joes. It's not for middle class. No, you got to be rich to live in New York City for the most part. Okay. And Zoran Mamdani, he won by a landslide. And yes, he is a popular figure currently in the Democratic Party. Why? Because the right continues to use him. They use his rhetoric as the face of an overall party. Now, look, that can be annoying because it's like he doesn't represent the whole party, which he does not. But it can also say, well, this guy is catching the attention of a lot of folks. So, to someone I don't disagree with Charlemagne said, I think he is easy to say that too when you look at who is the best communicator. Now, in my opinion, I would say Wes Moore is one of the Democrats' best communicators, in my opinion. Governor of Maryland. I think he's probably one of the top communicators in the Democratic Party. But Zoran, again, I just think that I don't know. And I gave you my thoughts on the previous show about his stance on Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu, primarily Israel government. He shared his stance on Israel government and not mostly the people of Israel. But as a sitting mayor, and I share this, as a sitting mayor, he needs to continue to separate the two and say, okay, look, I'm not a fan of Benjamin Netanyahu, nor just the government overall in Israel. That's one thing. But you have to realize, hey, look, you have folks in Israel. Have folks in New York, Jewish folks that are like, hey, look, you don't have to avoid going to our parade, right? You still have constituents in your city that has ties to Israel. So it's interesting. Again, share me your thoughts. I could be wrong, y'all. I could be wrong. But please share your thoughts in the comment section. I truly appreciate it. Next, I want to talk about this former NFL player. What's his name? His name is Jay Feely. Jay Feely is, let me go ahead and share this clip. But Jay Feely is the GOP nominee for Arizona's first congressional district. Now, Feely played in the NFL. He was a kicker. That's pretty much it. That's the background that I have. I could care less to see what else he's done in the past, but he had recently said that schools shouldn't. Well, let me not, say. Let me just show you the clip where he explained publicly his disagreement with schools currently within district, 1st Congressional District in Arizona.
And listen to the ideology that's presented. And they talk about how bad this country is. And they continually talk about, slavery and the things that happened, in the past, instead of talking about the greatness of this country and where we can go. This campaign is going to be about bringing people together. That's what Charlie Kirk was so good at,
And look, man, and I've said this time and time again, it was a tragedy what had happened to Charlie Kirk, an individual who I highly disagreed with. No one should lose their life the way he did. No one should be killed because of your political views. But you heard Jay Feely during his victory speech, winning that GOP primary, of folks like Charlie Kirk, what he stood for, and this and the other. They talk about the good and don't talk about the bad talk about the good. Doesn't that, when I think about that, I start to think of, and I'm not a parent, but when folks always bring up, hey, look, I'm your parent, I'm not your friend, I'm your parent, meaning that I'm not always gonna share you stuff that you want to hear. I'm gonna share you stuff that you're not gonna like, but it's for your own good, and it's gonna help you in the future. That's what talking about Black history or just history in general. Let me stop saying Black, but it's primarily Black history, which is American history. That's what this is all about. So when I always hear about folks saying, why do we have to always bring up race? Stop trying to deflect it, because the more you deflect, the more I get mad. The more I start thinking like, okay, what's your problem? Why don't you want to know about the importance? And you want to talk about growing as a country? Well, this unites us. This is having these conversations, my friends, especially with folks like I have a lot of friends from different cultures, different political beliefs, different age groups, right? Men, women, you name, like, I have the conversation because I want to learn. That's the world that we live in. We have a melting pot of differences in this country. No one part should be catered to and be like, this is how we're going to learn it, and that's how it's going to be. No. So just to kind of repeat that clip that y'all just finished listening to. So Feely moaned that college campuses teach students about slavery and not only about the rosy parts of the United States past. They talk about how bad the country is. Please share a few examples, Mr. Feely. I would love that. They continually talk about slavery and the things that happened in the past instead of talking about the greatness of the country and where we can go. He went on to say that he is going to campaign on bringing people together, and he said past podcaster Charlie Kirk did it in his life, talk about revisionist history. While Feely clearly thought his comment made him sound like a tough American defending a man, the American defending man, his words revealed that he's a snowflake who can't handle hearing about the uncomfortable parts of American history. Now, I'm reading this article, y'all, by the Daily Coast. This is from and this is from a white woman, Emily Singer. So I'm reading an article that she wrote here, and it says, let me continue this. Newsflash, Jay, slavery is part of the country's past, which is what history teachers focus on. It's a dark stain on the country that Black Americans are still suffering the consequences of. Ignoring slavery doesn't mean it didn't happen. It merely ensures that future generations are ill-informed and more likely to repeat the country's past mistakes. Love it. She adds on saying, of course, Feely isn't alone in wanting to erase the country's dark history. President Donald Trump and the GOP used the absurd excuse that teaching about the mistreatment of minorities in the United States is too woke. For example, Trump removed a slavery exhibit in Philadelphia because he felt it disparaged former President George Washington, who notoriously owned slaves. A federal judge ordered the exhibit to be reinstated, writing a blistering opinion condemning the Trump administration from trying to whitewash history. Quote here, it says, as if the minister of truth of George Orwell's 1984 now exists with its motto, ignorance is strength, the court is now asked to determine whether the federal government has the power it claims to dissemble and dissemble historical truth when it had some domain over historical facts. It does not. U.S. District Judge Cynthia Roof, appointed by former Republican President George W. Bush, wrote in her order. Meanwhile, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth deleted Pentagon's webpage that spoke about the heroism of minorities in the military. I mean, what else do you want to say? I mean, I want to read more because, I mean, you already kind of heard most of it, and we see this time and time again. I mean, to the point where the administration has an issue with the Smithsonian. They're wanting to close down the African American Museum. They removed names of was it Jackie Robinson, and which they made a mistake because Jackie Robinson had served in the military, but they had removed his name from the website. I think they wanted to remove the name of Harriet Tubman from one of the ships. I mean, they want to continue to erase Black history. And I don't know about you all, but I am extremely tired. I'm extremely tired of seeing that on the highest level, right? The news, this is when I always criticize the president, because he started this shit. He did. Yes, it was already ongoing, right? What he did, he just made it comfortable to be out in the open. He really did. So let me reframe that. He didn't start it. He just expanded it. And now you see it accepted in politics. Now you have elected officials and candidates on the campaign trail using that same rhetoric. You have so many folks becoming rich. You have these rich podcasters now making money off of this rhetoric, Black and white conservative podcasters. It's interesting. In my honest opinion, it's extremely interesting. But yeah, we will see how Jay Feely does come November. I will be very curious to see how the outcome will be. But yeah, that's coming from the mouth of a place kicker. Best of luck to you there, Jay. Best of luck to you. All right, now we're talking some junk about the GOP. Now let's talk some junk about the left. All right, so in a recent story out in Hawaii, the lieutenant governor out there, Sylvia Luke, is indicted on bribery charges. Excuse me. And she is, let me take that. There we go. And it's not looking so sharp. So this is Cynthia. Oh, Cynthia. So Sylvia Luke, indicted on bribery charges. And this is reported by Politico. Grand jury recently returned a 12-count indictment charging Luke with criminal conspiracy to commit bribery and falsifying campaign committee reports. Now, let me go ahead and read you this in full content. So the Democrat lieutenant governor of Hawaii was indicted, and the state's Department of the Attorney General announced in a press conference from the outset of this investigation, I have repeated that we have a commitment to following the facts to where they lead, no matter how long it takes to get there. And Lopez, the state's attorney general, adding to that, a grand jury I mentioned returned a 12-count indictment charging Luke with criminal conspiracy to commit bribery and falsifying campaign committee reports. Now, the charges stem from a month-long investigation by the Hawaii Attorney General's office into allegations that the lieutenant governor accepted campaign contributions from business person and lobbyist Toby Solidum in exchange for helping advance a COVID-19 testing contract while she served as chair of the State House Finance Committee in 2022. Now, Luke's office did not immediately respond to the request of comment, and she does not appear to have entered a plea as of recent. Now, the Governor Josh Green told Politico he believes Luke should resign. Yikes. The Attorney General announced significant developments in her department's corruption investigation and has provided an update on their findings. Now, the Lieutenant Governor, he in his statement says the Lieutenant Governor needs to consider formally resigning to address this matter, and so that the state of Hawaii can't move forward. Luke was one of 5 people indicted in the case, including former state rep Ryan Yami, who like Luke is a Democrat. So again, my friends, corruption happens on both sides. That's why, I always listen to elected officials and stuff with a grain of salt. Because corruption is not in one political party. It's in all, right? Greed is everywhere. Greed can be, in your church, greed can be in your schools, greed can be in your hospitals, greed can be everywhere. All right. Lieutenant Governor, who was elected to serve as Green's deputy in 2022, took a leave of absence from the post in April when the campaign finance investigation first made headlines. She also ended her campaign for re-election at the time. I tell you, y'all, this is what continues to push folks away from politics and from voting in general, because it's like, where's the trust? Where is the trust? We hear all the time, we get these candidates that want to advertise themselves every campaign season, and I'm for this, I'm for that, and I'm this, and I'm that, and then this happens. Where's the trust? Where's the justice? It's so annoying. It's so old. It gets old, man. If I have to count how many elected officials get caught up in corruption cases, I don't have enough fingers and toes to count all at once. So shame on this lieutenant governor in Hawaii for thinking about herself and not the people, and using her platform that she begged people to vote her in on, so she can align her own pockets. Please, y'all, please. Political corruption at its finest, what I say. Political corruption at its finest. What do we have next here, y'all? Then we're going to take a quick breather. We'll be back with more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back after these short breaks.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
I'm Aaron Phillips. Join me Saturdays at 12:30 as I host The Voice of 757. I'll share news, events, happenings, and the people that shape the 757. That's The Voice of 757, Saturday afternoon at 12:30 right here on Sky 4.
We are back. Next up on the list of discussions we're going to talk about today is let's see what I want to try. Let's talk about no, I'm joking. I want to talk about Howard University. some people can debate saying, the real HU. Look, I'm here, and it's funny because I have Hampton University in my family as well as Howard University in my family. So I want to talk about this story involving Howard University, because there was a story where Howard had unenrolled 500 students, and it was cutting it very, very close. So let me go ahead and share this clip here. And now this was maybe like a few days ago, or at least a week ago. But let's go ahead and let me go and play this clip for you.
New developments in the Howard University enrollment saga. Dozens of incoming students have been reinstated after receiving unenrollment notices, some days before moving in. Headlines first broke last week when 500 incoming freshmen were told they did not meet financial enrollment requirements. But students and families say they were given misleading information, and communication with the college has been unclear. As of Friday.
So right there, a lot of families were saying, hold up, we were misled. So now there is the interim president of Howard University, Dr. Wayne Frederick, discussed what happened and what's next after more than 500 incoming freshmen learned they were no longer enrolled at the school. And what I have read so far is the fact that it was either it was due to tuition, right? The reason for it was tuition. So let me go ahead and share this soundbite too.
You are a Howard graduate. If you were an incoming freshman experiencing what hundreds are going through right now, how do you think you'd be handling this situation?
Well, certainly I empathize with the students who are in this situation. And to be quite honest, I came here as a 16-year-old to go to school, and I can imagine the enormous pressure it puts everyone under. The reality is, though, over 2,200 students, the families did exactly what we expected them to do, and followed the policies and procedures, and met the deadline, which means that I feel that our communication was pretty comprehensive. We have to make some adjustments because we have a very diverse student body, and about 47% of our students are Pell Grant eligible. And so we certainly need to recognize that we have to enhance our communications and really support our students even more.
Have you seen this happen before? And what would you say to those parents who say they did not receive adequate notice and this surprised them, came out of nowhere?
Yeah, I find that a little difficult to accept because, as I said, 2,200 students and families did exactly the right thing, and we send the same communication to everyone. As a matter of fact, we've gone to texting students as well to make sure that they get our responses, etc. And then in some circumstances, students misunderstood what the 50% of the outstanding balance meant. And so if the bill is $60,000 and you got aid for $40,000, some students felt they met what we were trying to express. And in reality, what we said is, if your aid is $40,000, then you have a balance of $20,000 and you have to remit $50,000. And as I said, 2,200 plus students and families did exactly that and got the same instruction. So my goal now is just to ensure that we continue to communicate as better and also to really reach out to those families so that we could assist them in the best way possible.
So my thing is, and it's a bit embarrassing too, because it's like always it got to be HBCU. It got to be HBCU, because if it's not one thing, it's another. If it's not the cafeteria food being trash, it's the living conditions being trash. If it's not the living condition being trash, it's this. I mean, it's always something. And so let me read you a little bit of this in contents from the Associated Press in that recent interview that you just heard. So interim president of Howard University said over 200 of the more than 500 first-year incoming students who were unenrolled for the fall semester have been readmitted to the DC school. Now, he defended the way the historically Black college handled the initial unenrollment, saying many students and their families apparently misunderstood the communicated financial obligations they were expected to meet before the start of instruction in August. Now, I guess let me stop right there. The question is, does it go directly to the parents or does it go directly to the students? Because if it's first year, yeah, it should go out to the folks. But still, it's like what I'm hearing is that no money, no enrollment. You got to pay up now. Don't try to pay up when it gets a little too close, like pay up now. But I think what the parents are upset with is saying they misunderstood. But I want to know, when did these emails, when did this get sent out? Was it sent out very late, or was it sent out early on and parents just misunderstood? Like, I'm trying to understand this. He said there were no issues as far as what we communicated. That's what the president said, adding that the school had been clear since March of this year about unpaid balances for tuition that were due by mid-July. Students who were unenrolled for financial reasons had outstanding tuition balances after their financial aid and scholarships were applied. He said other were unenrolled because of unreported immunizations. He then said, I don't think it's just a simple matter of right or wrong. I think Howard adhered to its policies and procedures. As students learned in the previous week that they no longer had spots at Howard, one of about 100 historically Black colleges and universities in the United States, dozens took to social media, panicked about their next steps, many wondering where else they would continue their education so close to the start of the fall semester at most schools. Some students and parents said they had trouble reaching officials at Howard by phone or email, leaving them uninsured of how to resolve issues with tuition and housing assignments. Now, the president acknowledged that they deluged all calls was overwhelming, but he added that emails were responded to. I tell you, man, let's see. The school received about 37,000 applicants for enrollment this fall. About 22 of that 37 incoming students remain unenrolled after 502 were removed in the previous week. One individual was one of the students initially unenrolled. The 17-year-old lives in a shelter for teens and young adults in New York City. A staffer at the shelter rode with her Wednesday morning to the train to Howard to ask how she could be re-enrolled. She was told after speaking in person with the Howard official that her enrollment had been reinstated. She said, "I feel great." She told the AP, "I do feel there was a lesson to be learned from this. I shed tears over this, and I was really disheartened at first, but I felt like I couldn't give up until I really got the final say." So hey, there's some folks that are happy, but there's still some folks that are pissed. So I don't know. What's your take on this? Is Howard University in the wrong, or folks that didn't pay on time in the wrong? Are parents wrong? Like, what's your take? Let me know, because like I said, I love my HBCUs. I truly do. Sometimes HBCUs can make you want to slap somebody, though. They can. But again, I look at this. What I'm hearing is that people didn't pay on time, and universities are serious. Pay on time. Pay between this deadline. If you don't meet this requirement, you're not enrolled. So I can't be mad. Maybe I'm getting something wrong. Explain what do I have wrong? But I kind of side slightly with with Howard in this case, because it's just like, hey, look, you can't just be coming over here for free. This is Howard University. Howard ain't cheap. Howard is a private, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's a private institution. I think it is a private institution. I could be wrong, but I have to check. But next up, y'all, before I go, I want to share this clip from the governor of Maryland, Wes Moore, who basically said, "Hey, look, for you Howard students out there, we got some room here in Maryland. Check this out."
We were one of the hundreds of students disenrolled from Howard University just weeks before move-in. I want you to know this: Maryland, we've got your back. Howard University is an important institution, and we support its students. And that's why my administration is working with the University of Maryland System Schools to provide expedited admissions and financial aid options to those impacted. So if you were impacted You can also receive an $800 credit to help offset your non-refundable Howard deposit. So reach out and email to the team on the screen because we are here and we're ready to help.
Hey, Governor Westmoreland, he trying to sell the hell out of Maryland, man. I mean, but he doing his thing. He is doing his thing. That's what they elected him for. He stays in that. He's gonna stay in the know with them. Let me see here. Really quick, I got two quick stories I want to share. But first up, I want to share with you. So it's primary. We got primaries happening really all across the United States, but specifically, I know I'm gonna just speak for Virginia. Our primary day is August 4th. And where is it? Our primary day is August 4th. And as of right now, like, it's still a low turnout. But I mean, that's kind of understandable in primaries. You don't expect a lot of folks to come out and vote in the primaries. But here in Virginia, there's three districts that I've been keeping tabs with. And that was, well, for one, CD1, which is held currently by Republican Rob Whitman, where he is going to be facing one of, I think it's like 6 or 7 candidates in the Democratic primary. I've had the opportunity to interview 3 of them: Erica Kopp, Elizabeth Dempsey Beggs, and Tim Swinski. You also have Henrico Commonwealth Attorney Shannon Taylor, who was a former candidate for Attorney General. She has been described as, well, the establishment candidate, the establishment candidate in the race, and every party has one, right? She's, well, financially backed by a lot of bigwigs in the Democratic Party, and they are pushing for her primarily. District 2, CD2, which is my district, is currently held by Republican Jen Kiggins, Congresswoman Jen Kiggins. She will be facing there's 4 in the Democratic primary, one of them being Elaine Loria, who's a former congresswoman, who we're really hoping to get her on the show soon. You have Dr. Neela Defendant, who we've had on the show before. There's Bill Fleming, and then there's Patrick Mossall. So just let me and then the other one was oh man, I'm blanking. Well, it's either District 5 or District 7, CD5 or CD7. But let me talk a little bit about just this CD2 district, because it is very competitive. And as I mentioned, you have four individuals in the Democratic primary. Those that, and a lot of folks had withdrawn from the actually when I think about it, I interviewed 2, including Neela. Matt Strickler, who was he worked in the Northam administration, and he was like the secretary of Department of Interior. He had he was pro-environmentalist, I'll say that. Really sharp guy. But again, when you see money is everything too, but you got to look at the track record. Look, Elaine Loria, she is a 2-term congresswoman. She served on the January 6th committee, served this country. Most likely it's looking like a repeat. So when Jen Kiggins first got elected in Congress, she beat Elaine Loria. At that time, the districts it went through a district change, and in my opinion, Kiggins had inherited most of Chesapeake, which is a red city. So it really benefited Kiggins during that district change. When I was there when Elaine lost, I was actually at both watch parties. I went back and forth. I stayed for a little at Elaine's, and I went on the to the Republican side. Had enjoyed and spoke with some folks. Again, I have friends on both sides, so I was there enjoying a good adult beverage, and I came across state senators, previous governors. It was a big party over there. Came back to Elaine's to hear her speech at the end, to concede the election, and she gave a good speech, and then that was that. Then now it's time for Jen Kiggins. Jen Kiggins won. I think this might be her. I guess that will make her a 2 term. So I guess Kiggins won. I think she won 2 terms as well. I think she won 2 elections. I have to look back, but just to kind of do a little history on these candidates really quick, very briefly. So I already spoken about Elaine, but let's see here. Bill Fleming is, somebody who's very in favor of, he considers himself an independent Democrat. He's focusing on the environment. Okay. There's a lot of farmers within CD2, and so he's very big on that. Now, I mentioned DeFeneth, a physician and attorney, and is currently the regional associate medical director for Centera Community Care. Very qualified. I mean, she's extremely smart. Had a great conversation when she was on the show. I did not get the chance to talk with Patrick Mossoff or Bill Fleming, but I have met them. Again, nothing negative to say about them. It's just currently it's looking like the top 2 is, in my opinion, Dr. DeFeneth and Elaine Laurier. Now, I see Elaine winning this one personally, and I think it's going to be another repeat, but we will see. But August 4th is primary in the Commonwealth. Low turnout as of right now, but we will see. It's a very, very, very competitive race going on. But I wanted to bring up this story with you all because I look at this as possibly another win for, or just ups the ante for the DSA, because in the Wisconsin governor's race, former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes announces that he's dropping out of the Wisconsin race. This reported by NBC News says here that the former Lieutenant Governor recently announced that he's dropping out of the Democratic race for governor less than 2 weeks from the primary. Last night, he quotes that last night I had a very difficult conversation with staff. We're incredibly proud of all the things that we've accomplished and all the resources that we have raised to spread our message. But it's become very clear who our nominee is going to be. The statement is clear nod to the state rep, Francisca Hong, a Democratic socialist who has expanded her polling lead ahead of August 11th primary. Now, Barnes' decision to exit the race is just the latest major development to rock what has been a volatile Democratic primary to replace outgoing Governor Tony Evers in the key battleground state. Now, Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez, whom more moderate Democrats saw as a leading contender, dropped out the race. Dropped out the contest this month following the discovery of major inaccuracies related to the campaign's financial reportings. Now, the prompt Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley to re-enter the race with Evers' endorsement days after he had ended his campaign. It says here in an NBC News also reveals the existence of years-long social media account registered to Crowley that featured incendiary posts about women and race, along with derogatory LGBTQ references. Now, the Marquette University Law School poll release found Hong with the support of 38% of Democratic primary voters in this state, followed by Barnes with 16. So a huge difference. And Crowley with 7%. Others, 34%, said they were undecided. Now, still, Barnes' move could give Crowley a boost among Democrats who are looking for an alternative to Hong. That doesn't mean that's that's a plus for her. I mean, she's being that she's in the league, that's good stuff. But the fact of the matter is, if someone drops out, then most votes are going to say, well, look, I'm going to go towards this one because I just can't get behind the Democratic Socialists. I just can't. But it's interesting because I've said it here. I've said it time and time again. You can say it wasn't a critique, but I guess it was. I said that progressives, socialists, Democratic Socialists, they're doing great on the ground. But at the end of the day, are they going to win? Are they capable of winning the full election, right? Are they capable? Like when I look at, now this is for a governor's race, so I'm not going to go Congress and Senate, but it's Wisconsin. To my understanding, I think Wisconsin's a more purplish state, maybe purple, slightly blue. So she could be, could have a good chance. But it's interesting. It really is interesting seeing this new. I just think folks are tired. Folks are tired, and it's like, why the hell not? Right? We need more people that are relatable. We need more people that are not scared to talk up. I mean, it could happen, y'all. It could happen. We'll keep tabs on this because it's getting very, very interesting. It's getting very, very close to seeing, is there going to be a shift in the Democratic Party, in this big tent party? Are we going to see more progressives and Democratic Socialists growing within the party, right? If so, then it's going to be a new movement of Dems, a new voice, a new face of the Democratic Party. Or is it going to hurt them in the long run and then end up being a victory for the right? We will see, my friends. We will see. My friends, until next time, though, I think I've overstayed my stay. Thank you for sticking with us here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Until next time, we're going to talk more. We got some more stories coming up. It is midterm season, so we're going to have some more guests, local level, state level, federal level. As I mentioned, we're going to try to get former Congresswoman Elaine Loria on. But until next time, my friend, look, stay during your primaries. All right, it's important. Vote early when it's early voting season. Stay informed, and I will talk to you soon for another great convo here on the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.